What's up, guys? So the big question in crypto is when alt season. So let's take a look at when alt season, because altcoins have lately been doing pretty well. But is there an alt season in sight, or have we been in an alt season? Completely no. But this will come, and the fun is yet to begin. So let's take a look at what we can expect. In the meantime, like the video if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on, and if you want to see some insane exclusive videos, there's a Patreon link down below where you can get a lot of benefits, so definitely go check it out. For now, first, Bitcoin holding up really well. If you look at Bitcoin over the last couple of weeks, it has been grinding higher. We have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green weeks in a row. It kind of feels like Bitcoin is going sideways, but actually we have been moving up quite well. If you take a look at the altcoin market, we have been doing well as well, but we already had a red week right there. And this is actually more sideways when you compare it to Bitcoin, which is obviously going up. So Bitcoin is outperforming altcoins still. And another chart that's backing that up is the Bitcoin dominance, that shows how much Bitcoin is dominating this crypto space. And as you can see, the Bitcoin dominance is still moving upwards. Yes, we had this little pullback right here, which made that altcoins were catching up on Bitcoin a little bit. But overall, an alt season is far from what we have seen right now. For the people that have no idea what I'm talking about, what is an alt season? An alt season is a period in crypto where altcoins outperform Bitcoin. That's when you see the Bitcoin dominance go down, right? Now we have seen the Bitcoin dominance go up, not even sideways, but up. So it's in fact the opposite of an alt season right now. And we still make money on altcoins, right? So that only tells you that, hey, if you have a certain bag of altcoins which are doing well right now, you might want to hold on to them until there is an actual alt season, because once these altcoins start to outperform Bitcoin, then it's really going to be sweet. Now, of course, there are already altcoins that outperform Bitcoin right now, but collectively they are still getting wrecked. And it's good to have some Bitcoin, because whenever the Bitcoin dominance is really high, you can choose to convert that Bitcoin into altcoins, and when the altcoin season starts, ride that wave right there. There are some altcoins that are getting completely wrecked, like BNB, for example. It's one of the bigger coins, and as you can see, it has been holding up quite decent on its dollar value right now. At least it's holding up. It's not crashing very hard yet, let me put it like that, but I think that will still come. It's now hanging there on its bull market support band, and it doesn't look that good, because if you know that BNB is now sitting at the same level as where it was in, let's say, June, right? So BNB hasn't changed since June, but if you look at where Bitcoin was in June, Bitcoin was sitting at around, well, pretty much 10K lower, right? So Bitcoin went up with 10K and BNB didn't do anything. That can only tell that the BNB Bitcoin valuation isn't looking so good. And as you can see right here, it lost the last support that it had, and it's now well on the way to this level right here, which could make sure that BNB can come down another 20%, give or take, on its Bitcoin pair. You might feel like, yeah, whatever, I don't hold BNB anyway, but you have to realize a lot of coins are paired with BNB, and if BNB goes down, these coins go down with it, right? So that could be a big hit for the market. And another coin that's been doing that is Ethereum, right? Ethereum on the dollar pair is doing well, right? That's what we can see right here. Ethereum is in an uptrend. But if you look at the Ethereum uptrend, it's trying to take out the high from April. Again, if we look at Bitcoin, hey, it already took out the April high by what was it? By 25%, right? Ethereum is running behind, and that's also what you can see on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. And if this thing crashes, then the whole altcoin market crashes. And that's still something that I am prepared for. I really think that there's a lot of money to be made in altcoins, but I do think that before that happens, we get a good buying opportunity still. And I don't mean just a 5% dip like that. That's not going to happen. These charts show danger. Bitcoin needs one good pullback. And the altcoin market basically, like for example, Ethereum already lost support. BNB on its Bitcoin pair as well already lost support, right? So if now Bitcoin goes down, yeah, these coins are like on the dollar pair, they can go down really hard. And yeah, BNB USDT, for example, I don't know if this is the region where it's gonna hold, but if it doesn't, then it has a long way to go down, and that's trouble for basically all the altcoins out there. So that doesn't suggest an altcoin season anytime soon. What could save it is, of course, that the Bitcoin dominance now finally goes to the downside, so that BNB on the dollar pair or on the Bitcoin pair, for example, finally can play some catch up. And if Bitcoin then comes down, this thing has some room to go down on the dollar pair. That could happen, right? But then again, if I take a look at the Bitcoin dominance right now, I see a super strong uptrend. I see a super strong uptrend. If you look at a monthly chart, you can see it maybe even better. The uptrend is super clear. We broke this range that we have been in for 2 years. We broke it and we are skyrocketing right now, basically. We tested this previous resistance as support. We hold it. This diagonal line, we are holding that as well. We are holding the bull market support band. And it looks like it's now trying to push this resistance right here to get to the next part. And that's between 57 and 60%. Seems very likely to happen. And that lines up with this chart right here. This is the total tree without USDT divided by the Bitcoin market cap. And then you will see this chart. This is sitting at support. So this is basically every altcoin on its Bitcoin pair. And this is below the bull market support band, just got rejected right there. And it's doing exactly what we did last cycle. What you can see, we came down, we went up, we got rejected by the bull market support band, we came down, we had a smaller bounce, rejected by the bull market support band, and we broke it. What did we do right now? We came down, got up, rejected by the bull market support band, came down again, smaller bounce, rejected by the bull market support band, and now we break it. It's like crazy similar so far, right? So you should not conclude or rule out that this move now is also going to happen, because all these moves exactly happened now as well. If that happens, it doesn't mean, again, that altcoins are going down on the dollar pair. This could happen while Bitcoin is going up, right? And in that case, altcoins just go down on the Bitcoin pair, not necessarily on the dollar pair. If this happens while Bitcoin is going down, then altcoins are going to get extremely fucking wrecked on their dollar pair. And that could happen. That could happen. But if that happens, that's really a awful move for altcoins. That's a huge crash. Let's take a look what happened last cycle, because it's so like comparable, right, so far. So what happened right here is we had this move right here. Bitcoin was going up in the meantime, the orange line, while we had these similar moves. Bitcoin was going up. What do we have right now? These moves while Bitcoin was going up. What happened when we broke it? It was when Bitcoin went down. Okay, so if history repeats, which it is doing perfectly, capital letters perfectly so far, then altcoins are going to get completely fucking wrecked. And therefore, it is good that we now had this altcoin bounce, because now they finally have room to go down, right? If we take a look again at the total tree, right? If we were here and this move downwards would happen, yeah, then it would be losing support and down hard, right? If now this is going to happen, and again, I'm not saying it will, but every single move happened exactly so far, and it's only a matter of, well, we just need one other move also happen that way, and altcoins can go down easy 60%. Okay, don't let it scare you off, but what happened last cycle was brutal. Okay, it was brutal. If you again take a look, but okay, let's first Now, if this move happens, we maybe can get this support right here, right? We have this room to go down, right? If you take a look what happened last time, again, when we had this move to the downside where we broke this, right? We saw that this happened while Bitcoin was going down. Okay, so but the dominance. Let me put it like that. The dominance. Wait. Sorry, brain fart, was looking at the wrong chart. If we now have this move down again as well, right? This was where Bitcoin also went down. And altcoins went down against Bitcoin that was going down, right? So that was horrible for altcoins. Let's overlay the total tree, right? Just the altcoin market to see how that responded right there. And if we put it on logarithmic, you can see right here, from the moment we broke down, the altcoin market went from 80 billion to 36 billion. 80 billion to 36. That's 60% down, give or take, right? That's what happened. But again, this is the total tree, right? That's the total tree. And the total tree includes stables, right? Stables, if they weren't made by Do Kwon, not go down. Not go down. They don't go down. So let's take a look at others. Let's overlay others. And others is the top 125, excluding the top 10. Okay, that's an interesting one. So let's take a look at that one. That gives a way better perspective on what altcoins actually did. So let's take a look what happened right here. From the moment we broke down, others went from 19 billion to, well, 10 billion. Okay, fair enough. 50% down. 50% down. So why was total tree going down harder if it includes stables? Well, again, it has the top 10 as well. So also the big coins, the Solanas, the ADAs, the Dogecoins, etc. So these are the smaller altcoins. So this was a 50% move down. Right? Like that. So that's very, very likely to happen. If we look at this, for the people that don't want this to happen, they try to probably find reasons to now say, nah, it's not going to happen. But again, I just want to make clear, we had this exact move in quite the exact same period of time as well that we have right now. Okay, exactly. All we need is one extra move that's going to play out like that, right? So yeah, is from now on, is it going to be completely different? Okay, then it might save your altcoin back ass. But if it just goes on like it's doing so far for the last 2 years, basically, then altcoins are likely to drop 50%. Now, is that bad? Right? Like, it depends. Are you prepared? You should have cash. You should. Tomorrow I'm gonna drop a video which is so interesting, and that's also the video that shows exactly that if it drops 50%, I will be happy, man. I will be happy. Although I lose money, I will be happy. The video for tomorrow is super interesting. But let's take a look at the others chart. So if the others chart falls 50%, so the altcoin market, where would it go? Perfect support. Perfect support. So that would basically mean the previous lows. Okay? Could happen. I'm not saying it will. I'm saying that it's very likely that something like that could play out. So be sure that if you, I mean, what you see right here as well is we just had an altcoin run of from the last bottom wick basically to the top of 120%, which happened quite fast, right? For half of the year basically, just half of the year. So how weird is it to correct with 50% before we go up even further? It's nothing too crazy. All in all, what usually happens is we have the halving coming at around April, and usually after the halving, that's the blue line, is where the halving happens, is where we really pump, right? After the halving is where we really pump. What we see right here as well, last cycle, before the halving, we went down, right? And again, yeah, it was because of COVID, this, that, but even from here to here without COVID, it dropped 53%, right? So after the halving, we usually go up. What happens before the halving could go anywhere. Here we came down, we went up, we came down, we went up, we came down, and then we went up, and we had a good correction as soon as the halving happened, right? And then we really started to go parabolic. So before the halving, it's kind of all noise, and it would make sense. Also, if you look at the fact that, Bitcoin has a bottom, a couple of months later, another bottom. Here we had a bottom, a couple of months later, another bottom. Here we have our bottom. Where's that other bottom, right? Like, we don't need to make a double bottom or anything, but it's now not even close to doing something similar, right? So this time is very different so far. I don't expect it to keep up like that. This could all align with Bitcoin, going to 30K, probably, at least 30K, while the dominance shoots up. This could be a good reason for altcoins to crash that extremely hard. And it lines up with the altcoin market, but the dominance of the altcoin market. Right? We talk a lot about the Bitcoin dominance. This is the altcoin dominance. And as you can see, we are here sitting at major resistance, like we spoke about a couple of videos ago. We got rejected right here, which was a very predictable move, of course. This is resistance that we have been in February. We had a lot of support over here. We had resistance over here in 2020. We had resistance in 2018, 2017. So major resistance point. Now, we could drop, of course, and stay in this parallel channel with like 30%. It's a similar move of what we did over here from February until June. And if you overlay the altcoin chart, how much have we lost dollar-wise? Well, we went from 130 billion to 80 billion, right? So almost 50%. It makes sense. So what the video was originally about, that's not an altcoin season. That's the like altcoin season flipped around, right? That's not what we need. So when altcoin season? Well, again, all of this lines up with the Bitcoin dominance going up, right? And if the Bitcoin dominance goes up, it's a Bitcoin season like we have been in for 1.5 years now, give or take. If the Bitcoin dominance goes up, let's say to 60% or something like that, right? Then that mooned then, right? But at a certain point, it will all flip around. And I think that would happen like somewhere after the halving. Right? We had the halving here, for example, this white line in May. And after the halving, we had that big alt season. Now, I do think that this alt season will happen after the halving as well. And the higher we climb first, the harder you can fall. And that's going to be a pretty big alt season. So I don't expect an alt season like here as well. We had the halving in May 2020, and the altcoin season really started in Q1 2021, so a year later. All right. So I don't even know if I would expect an altcoin season in 2024, actually. End 2024, begin 2025. That's where a real altcoin season will start. And in the meantime, you can get fucking wrecked, because I made a poll on my channel and I asked like, hey, how much of your holdings are in stables? And it was scary how many people said zero. A lot of people are already fully into the market. And yeah, I don't know. The video for tomorrow is going to be super interesting for you, I think. So be a little prepared. Like a lot of people, they say, oh, it's flooding and now new bull season. But yeah, you see the charts right here. We're doing, again, the same thing, exactly the same thing as last cycle. And we just need one little move that's exactly the same, and then altcoins are fucked. So be a little careful with that. If you look at others, again, the altcoin market on its Bitcoin pair, so not the total three minus USDT and then divided by Bitcoin. But if you look at really the altcoin market on its Bitcoin pair, you can also see that we are in this uptrend for a long time. We are in this uptrend for a really long time. It all comes together right here, right here, right here, right here. And you can see that on its Bitcoin pair, the altcoin market does have a good way to go down, 16% down on its Bitcoin pair. And yeah, again, it doesn't sound like a lot, but if Bitcoin does have a correction to like 30K or so, hey, that's down 20% for Bitcoin. But if altcoins also go down 20% on Bitcoin, on their Bitcoin pair, yeah, do the math. It all lines up, and I'm prepared for this. I want to be cautious. I want to be careful. I know these pumps right now are nice, and people saying like, oh yeah, we're back in the bull market. The total three says, hey, we're just going sideways and you're just as broke as you were 1 year ago. So it's not that big of a difference right now. And an altcoin season in a bull market doesn't look like this. Of course, we all know that, right? This little pump, we had that many times in this bear market. It will look like this. And that's a huge difference. And we will get that. And in the meantime, how you prepare for that is going to play a big part in how much you're going to profit from it when the time is right. So if you like the content, it's important to be prepared for every possible scenario in this market. And again, stay tuned for tomorrow's video because I think that's a banger. So make sure to be there, subscribe, turn the bell notification on. See you tomorrow.